Is the War Hydra any good? Since this is a YouTube channel and views are good, I'm going to cover large, showy units from various rosters from time to time without any rhyme or reason, and lump them into my Monsters series playlist. This will include older monster videos. The War Hydra is an old fave of mine. Please like, subscribe, comment, and consider donating to my Ko-fi page. Thanks as always. Weighing in at 9458 HP on Ultra, the War Hydra is a single-entity monster with 60 armor, 35 missile resistance, which includes its scaly skin trait, 65 leadership, a respectable 46 speed, and starts with melee attack of 52, with a frighteningly rapid attack interval of 3.6, accounting for its multiple Jaws of Death. However, it only damages a maximum of 5 targets at one time. Melee defense is 32, meaning it's not at all hard to hit it in melee if you remain on your feet. Weapon strength is 440, of which 140 is base damage, and a whopping 300 is armor piercing, letting this unit to take a bite out of champions. Charge bonus is 45, which is pretty middle of the road. Mass is a gargantuan 5000, which is respectable indeed. The unit inflicts both fear and terror, and has the siege attacker trait, but the really special seasoning comes in the form of its fire breath, constant regeneration in the old style with a 20% weakness to fire, and the trait Another takes its place, which triggers a dramatic 12% hit point heal over the course of a single second. That itself triggers when hit points are low enough and cools down if HP is below 50% for a maximum of 4 times in battle. Now, that's all nice, but there are two things that deserve mention. Number 1. Just because there's a high resistance to Archer Fire doesn't mean it's anywhere near invulnerable. A War Hydra against enough missiles will be a really big pincushion in short order. Number 2. The Fire Breath is fickle. This thing passes through units, and so hitting 2 or 3 infantry formations with it is devastating, and the range is half respectable for a breath power, but you cannot use this ability while engaged in melee. It's really easy for the War Hydra to be too stuck in the fight to use this powerful ability, and any battle you can get all 3 breaths off should be counted as a blessing. You should also note that while the War Hydra attacks swiftly and fairly powerfully, the maximum of 5 targets is pretty low compared to some stuff out there. You may find it your best option against a given blob, but it won't be because the War Hydra is an effective blob fighter. Ideally, you breathe on blobs and then help out against armored annoyances like chariots, enemy characters on chariots, and so on. Let's look at what the Dark Elves can do to boost a War Hydra, shall we? I'll focus on the High Beastmaster because, duh, you don't have to be Rakarth to recruit one, so it's applicable to the entire faction. Lashmaster grants up to 12% bonus weapon strength to the War Hydra and up to 12 extra charge bonus. Both are nice and useful. Confer Bloodlust affects Hydras at rank 7 or above, granting plus 10% speed, 12% more weapon strength, and 10% physical resistance. None of that is a bad thing at all. The High Beastmaster can grant the Beastmaster skill at rank 13, granting plus 10 charge bonus to War Hydras. The roster has a lot of units, so these skills boost a lot more than the Hydras, but I'm being specific. Titanic Beast is a personal line for the quote-unquote Common Lord, and grants plus 8 melee attack to the Hydra, and reduces recruitment time by 1 turn, which would normally take 2 turns to recruit. Finally, Master Tormentor adds 2 recruit ranks and plus 8 melee defense to all monster units. There are a couple of technologies available, neither of which affects weapon strength. One adds leadership, another adds a flat plus 5 melee attack and defense, but it's not like that's unwelcome. A monster unit without a bonus versus infantry or large can use all the help it can get. Those techs are very late game. So as you can see, most of the help provided would be from the right lord spec'd into it, adding weapon strength, bonuses to hit, and bonuses to defend. There's a well-rounded diet of bonuses all around because all that charge bonus help won't be wasted. The rest is up to the particular circumstances of your magic. In terms of how to use the War Hydra, the fact you can potentially sit in a corner and have it slowly regenerate means you have at least some potential of having it recovering in battle, but being a large and important target, you have to expect it to be shot and hunted. On the other hand, the regeneration means you can abuse it to a pretty heavy extent and have it still limp away. When I lost a Hydra, it was usually when one was heavily damaged and started the next battle against a fresh opponent. As a practical matter, you use it either as a blob attractor, so that you can dump your most powerful AoE spell right on top, or you are breathing fire and hoping for the best, then extracting your many pounds of flesh from the melee. You often have to lean on the 5000 mass to yank it out of melee, get a breath off, and charge right back in. But the charge bonus makes this worthwhile, and hey, it has decent pitched battle stats, but they're not so high you don't greatly benefit from charging, so do it whenever possible. That need to micro, at least at the start, makes things a bit finicky, but here's the secret of the Hydra. Provided it can catch up to the melee, there is no opponent it is bad at fighting. Infantry? The breath can do horrific damage and doesn't care about armor. Cavalry? The reduced model count lets its high attack speed, high armor piercing damage shine. Monsters? It can hold its own. It's only the dedicated monster killers that will probably win. Lords? Same, or it's some uniquely powerful one. The Hydra is flexible, and that is its deeper strength. It just brings a great deal of balanced power to the table. That's why you would pick it over its brethren for large parts of the campaign. On that last point, yes, there are units that are particularly resistant to fire, but in the main, you breathe at the highest value target, or a unit standing in front of the highest value target so that you do damage to both. A sidelong hit on an elite infantry unit will hurt. That's how you get value out of their limited breath attacks. Take care, and have fun turning your opponents into charcoal! And when you're done with one opponent, another takes its place.